Hello students. Today, we are going to learn and understand a fun and interesting poem called Mr. Nobody. Introduction. This poem is about a mysterious and invisible person who seems to be responsible for all the little mishaps at home. Every time something goes wrong, like a book getting torn, ink being spilled, or a door left open, no one admits to it. Instead, they all blame Mr. Nobody. Think about it. Has your mom ever asked, who left the door open, and everyone in the house says, not me? Well, in this poem, that, not me, is given a name, Mr. Nobody. Stanza 1 explanation. I know a funny little man. As quiet as a mouse. Who does the mischief that is done? In everybody's house. The poet talks about a funny little man who is very quiet as a mouse. This person does all the mischief in the house, like breaking things, making a mess, or leaving things out of place. But here's the trick, no one ever sees him. Stanza 2 explanation. There's no one ever sees his face. And yet we all agree that every plate we break was cracked by Mr. Nobody. No one has ever seen Mr. Nobody, yet everyone agrees that he is the one who causes trouble. For example, if a plate is found broken at home, no one admits they did it. Instead, they blame it on Mr. Nobody. Stanza 3 explanation. 'Tis he who always tears out books. Who leaves the door ajar. He pulls the buttons from our shirts. And scatters pins afar. Mr. Nobody is responsible for tearing books. Leaving doors open, ajar means slightly open. Pulling off buttons from shirts. Scattering pins everywhere. Think about your own home, doesn't it sound like what happens when no one wants to take the blame? Stanza 4 explanation. That squeaking door will always squeak. For prithee, don't you see? We leave the oiling to be done by Mr. Nobody. There is a squeaky door in the house that needs oiling, but no one does it. Instead, everyone assumes that Mr. Nobody will take care of it. This is something we all do, ignoring small responsibilities, thinking someone else will do it. Stanza 5 explanation. The finger marks upon the door. By none of us are made. We never leave the blinds unclosed. To let the curtains fade. The poet talks about fingerprints on the door, but no one accepts that they made them. The blinds, curtains, are left open, causing them to fade from sunlight, but again, no one says, I left them open. Everyone blames Mr. Nobody. Stanza 6 explanation. The ink we never spill, the boots that lying round you see, are not our boots, they all belong to Mr. Nobody. Nobody spills ink, yet there are ink stains. Shoes are left lying around, but no one accepts that they left them there. Sounds familiar? In many homes, parents ask, who left their shoes here, and the answer is always, not me. Theme and moral. The poem teaches us a funny but important lesson. People don't like admitting their mistakes. Instead, they pretend like someone else is responsible. The poet cleverly uses Mr. Nobody to show how we avoid responsibility. Moral of the poem, we should take responsibility for our own actions instead of blaming Mr. Nobody or others. Final thought of poem. Next time something small goes wrong at home, like a missing sock or a messy room, just ask yourself, was it really Mr. Nobody, or should I take responsibility? Dear students, if you like explanation, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and I will meet in next video. Till then, keep learning and keep smiling. Nothing is difficult if you believe in yourself.